Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Prize Picks video. In this one, we're talking about the NBA for Wednesday, February 28th. So in this video, we have 5 picks for you guys to consider as always, so stay tuned in the video to hear all 5 of the picks. We went absolutely crazy yesterday in the Discord and private Discord. You could see some massive hits here. Kanye E, one of the private Discord members, hit a 5 for 5 slip here. You can see as we scroll up, Coley from the private Discord used a bunch of our picks. I see 3 of my picks there I gave out in the VIP, plus Sexton from one of our newest cappers and Collins from another one of our cappers. So getting cashed out from the 5+ cappers in the private Discord. Tons of hits. These are all just from today. A 6 for 6 in here. Massive from Blame the Flame, one of our cappers here hitting an esports slip. Also another one of our longtime cappers over here, Irenas, hitting a massive 6 for 6 slip. You can see posted right here in his channel in the morning, hit 6 for 6. So definitely get over in the private Discord, check it out. It's less than $1 per day on the monthly plan to get access to those 5+ cappers picks, and you can see all the massive hits that we had in the Discord. So get over there, check it out, see how all these people are hitting these massive 6 for 6 slips from the cappers that we have in Dynamo Discord. Huge day yesterday. Let's get into this one though. For the first pick, I'm going to go to RJ Barrett here on the points. 20.5 points he needs here versus Dallas. Dallas is playing on a back-to-back, and their defense has not been great. Gave up a good amount of points in their last one to Cleveland. I would not be normally going to this one because I thought that this game could be, kind of a blowout risk here. Dallas blowing out Toronto. But looking at the spread here, Dallas is just a 2.5 point favorite and a massive total of 241.5. So these teams are expected to play a close game and put up a ton of points. I'm going to RJ Barrett in this one because while he hasn't been hitting this one on the season, we can come over here and look at RJ Barrett on Outlier, which is a tool I use every single day for player prop research. Highly recommend it. If you want to check it out, they have a 7-day free trial with the link down below. You can see RJ Barrett on the season, over 20.5. He's only hit this 47% of the time, but with the Raptors, he's been hitting this one a lot more. So we can look at over here games that he's played with Scotty Barnes. He's hit this in 57% of games. But, in the beginning with the Raptors struggled a bit, was playing some lower minute totals. You could see between 27 and 32 minutes. And then later we've seen some massive games playing 36+ minutes. And even most recently there have been a lot of blowouts. You could see that they lost by like 28 and they lost by like 23 in these games where he didn't play that much. But otherwise he's going to play 30+ minutes. So we can just look at his last 10 games. He's hit this in 7 of 10 games, or so far with the Raptors in games where he plays at least 29 minutes or more. He's hit this in 13 of 19 games, and with the Raptors, he's only played in 23 games. So basically, if this game's not a blowout, like it's supposed to be a close one, RJ Barrett's been hitting this a lot with Toronto, so really liking this pick. The next one we're going to go to is a different game. We're going to be going to the Lakers and the Clippers game. We're going to go to DAngelo Russell here, over on the points plus assists. DAngelo Russell playing a lot better in the second half of this season so far here. And versus the Clippers, going to be a tougher matchup, but they're not going to have Paul George in this one. He's already been ruled out, so makes this game possibly a little closer. Again, coming over here, we could see surprisingly pretty high total at 235.5 and only a 3.5 point spread. So I think we can see a close, high scoring game in this one as well. And for reference, if you guys don't bet a lot on games, like look at the total in the Cleveland and Bulls game, 217.5. So these totals at 235 are pretty high. And the other game we looked at was 241.5 total. If we do come back to Outlier and look at this one, we'll see for DAngelo Russell that he's hit this 53% of the time this season. And look at this graph for how much green has been since January 11th. Since January 11th, he's only missed this line 3 times. So we can look at the last 20 games. He's hit this 85% of the time in his last 20 games. Absolutely crazy stat right there. Also, we can see in the middle of the season, he wasn't playing as many minutes. The least amount of minutes he's played, January 13th, has been 2 games here with 27. Besides that, he played a game with 31.7 minutes. So we can also just look at games where he's played at least 29 minutes on the entire season. He's hit this in 73% of games. So while it is a fairly tough matchup, actually the Clippers over here only rank in the top 10 barely in points allowed and 12 in assists. So really liking this one for DAngelo Russell in what should be a close, high-scoring game, and just a line that he's been hitting a ton since January 11th. So going to that one for D'Lo. For the next pick, we're going to come over to OddsJam. It's a great tool that gives you the best value picks on sites like Prizepicks, Underdog. They have a bunch of them up here you can filter by. Basically how it works is they compare lines on the site to other sportsbooks. So their top pick here, Kawhi Leonard, 35.5 PRA. You can see FanDuel has it at 37.5, and all these other sites have it at 36.5. So Kawhi in this one, we're liking against the Lakers to, go hand in hand with D'Lo. So going to Kawhi in this one. And Kawhi Leonard, definitely a weird player to look at because earlier in the season, he just wasn't really playing a lot. But also we have to go to the alternate line here of 35.5. He said this 41% of the time this year, but you could see early in the year was barely hitting this. And you could see why. Because early in the season, he was playing a lot of these games, not as many minutes as he has been lately. So he is averaging 34 minutes per game on the season now. So if we could filter out a lot of games, if this is going to be a close game, we could give him 34 minutes, just a little under his average. He's hit this 57% of the time. Also, we could go and look at games without Paul George. So far this season, he's hit this 3 of 4 games without PG. We can go dating back to last year. In 16 games last year without Paul George, he hit this in 75% of games. So definitely liking that for Kawhi Leonard, the OddsJam pick of the day. Definitely check him out with the link down below. You get a 7-day free trial there as well, plus 25% off if you want to continue after that trial. But Kawhi Leonard, one that we are definitely liking at this lower line that we found from OddsJam. So let's go ahead and lock in Leonard here over on that PRA. And then for the next pick, we're going to move on to a different game. We're going to target the Kings game against the Denver Nuggets. So this has been a weird matchup this season because I think in both games so far we've seen the Kings blow them out and then the Nuggets blow them out. So hopefully we get a close game here. But if it's not as close as we think, it is a 7.5 point spread here, 228.5 point total. So mid-range total here, and the spread a little more than I would like, but I'm going to go to DeAaron Fox in this one and take him on the points plus assists on the over. DeAaron Fox has been hitting this one like all year, and we could see outlier here. We could see he's hit this in 59% of games, but in his last 5 games, he's hit this one in all 5 as well. So had a rough stretch in this portion of the season from January to like mid-February. Now, mid-February till now, he's been on fire, especially with this line. Head-to-head, you could see that he hit this one in their last game that was competitive, a 4-point game. He hit this. The game before that was an absolute blowout. Kings won by 30, he didn't hit it. And then the game before that, he had just a monster game, 16 assists and 26 points. Insane. And those were the 3 games from this year. So he actually does well against Denver when it's not a blowout. I was wrong. Denver didn't blow them out. The Kings were the one who blew them out in that one game. But I think it's a good matchup for Fox. And if this one is mildly close, I do think that they'll play Fox, at least 29 minutes. So I give him 29 minutes here. He's played 29 minutes in 45 games out of 51 that he's played in. And he's hit this in 64% of games where he plays at least 29 minutes. So Fox, absolutely on a heater, going to him against Denver, a team that he's done really well against this year. And then we're going to go to one here, and I usually don't go to these goblins, but when they're like 80% hit rate, it's one that I don't mind going to, and especially if we think that this game's going to be closer than Vegas does on their 7.5 point spread. I do think Michael Porter will play a good amount, 1.5 threes. You may think that's kind of a hard goblin to hit. Not for Michael Porter Jr. He's been such a weapon as a three-point shooter last year and this year. And we could take a look at some of these stats for Michael Porter Jr. in a great matchup. Going to the three-pointers, alternate line of 1.5. He's made over 1.5 threes 79% of the games this year. And it's very rare for him to not hit this twice in a row. Didn't hit it last game when Denver won by 16 points against Golden State, but think that he should be in line to be hitting it in a fast-paced game against the Kings. Liking this one for MPJ. 79% of games last year, he hit this in 76%. Obviously, in the playoffs, he didn't have the best series at all against Miami, but if you don't count playoff games, this would have been over 80% for Michael Porter Jr. last season, and the minutes have been there, 31.7 minutes. So, if you do bump this up to give him just 27 minutes, at least in this game, he's hit this 85% of the time. So, liking Michael Porter Jr. here on a goblin pick. Check out how we're getting all these massive hits over in the Discord, members of the private Discord, hitting huge slips yesterday. A ton of massive slips. Coley over here hitting a 5 for 5 with a demon involved in it from picks from the cappers that they gave out in their channel. So to get access to 5+ of those cappers who have been hitting, you can see Blame the Flame capper hitting an esports slip. Irenas, his only slip posted for NBA action today, hit a 6 for 6 as well. It's less than $1 per day. Just click the link in the description or the pinned comment. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys in another video.